Hey guys, welcome back. Merry Christmas and thanks for tuning in. Well, the time has come and here we go. We've got the biggie for you. This is the Hong Kong Models 1/32 scale Lancaster, and this is the sprue review looking at all the grey plastic. But before I start, I want to wish all you guys a Merry Christmas and say thank you very much to all my subscribers for subscribing. The number is just going up infinitely now. It's on over 460 as we speak. It's currently Christmas Eve and it's 20 to 7 at night. So yeah, leaving this pretty late, and then what I'm hoping to do is go and have a couple of beers with some friends and while this is uploading, so when you actually get this I'll probably be out. So hopefully while I'm out I'll see loads of notifications come up on my phone to say that you've been watching it and loving it. It also means that tomorrow morning the picture will probably be different on the actual intro, the one you see on the screen, because the thumbnail, because I usually change them. I also want to play a little game here. I want to play a little game of spot the parts, because certainly looking at the clear sprues, there's a lot of parts in this kit that aren't actually in the instructions. I've since read that apparently there are parts in the engine sprues that allow you to actually fit the exhausts without worrying about fitting the engines. So as with a lot of kits, we have to build the engine to fit the exhausts. With this, apparently there are parts in there so you don't have to, but they're not actually in the instructions. So a bit strange. I know for a start there's two sets of prop blades, and I know we've got the radar shroud that goes underneath the back, and or underneath the underside of the tail. So I wonder if the radar is in there as well. So somebody actually posted up, apparently those parts are for the Mark III. Well, I'm afraid I've looked at my references. Those parts are applicable to the Mark I or the Mark III. So yeah, so please leave your comments and let me know what you see in the sprues. And if there's something special that I miss, then let us all know. Okay, so let's get on with it. Let's get into this box and have a look at some parts. Right, let's start by looking at the fuselage. So we've got the this is the portside fuselage main section here. You can see absolutely covered in these ejector tabs, ejector points, ejector marks if you like, and but it's great because all these are on the actual glue joint surface, so you're not going to damage your outer detail at all. And B, it means the interior of the fuselage, other than this little area in here, is ejector pin free. So that's a really good move. Thank you, HK Models. And also, if you notice, we've got full rib detail all the way down, all the way around the inside. So when we actually pose this model with the door open, when we look inside, that's what we'll see. And unlike the B24 Liberator, they've managed to do the whole interior detail without doing separate inlay pieces, which if you look back at my review of that one, you'll see that's what's in there. And also remember the instructions, we've got a spar that goes across, so that'll be covered, and I'm assuming this will be covered by the interior parts, so that'll look good. There's a seam here, a mould seam along this seam line here, and what I'll do is I'll give you a good close-up image of it so you can see what it's like. And I don't think that'd be too difficult to cover. It may need to mask, certainly in that area there, you may need to mask the rivets and put some Mr. Surface in there, because when you compare it to the other seam lines, it's not quite as clean. But I don't know, I mean, maybe under camouflage and washing everything it'll be okay. But another review, I saw Brett's review, and yeah, his fuselage was certainly a lot worse than mine. So I think on his probably the mould didn't quite shut properly and it left by a few thou, and it's let some plastic ooze out into the seam. But no, we've got rivet detail all the way around, which is nice. There's no dragging of the rivets on the vertical surface, on the horizontal surfaces. Looks like we've got another mould seam there perhaps, or is it just a funny line panelling there around the tail plane? I'm not sure if that's correct, but it's there. And yeah, all recessed rivets. Unlike the forthcoming Wingnut Wings model, that's going to have raised rivets, which I think will be absolutely beautiful. The only downside I see to it is going to be when you actually join anything together is how you're going to reproduce it. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because I will be getting that when it comes out, and I will be reviewing it, and I hope to be one of the first to do that. The other thing I've noticed here, which I'm not that keen about, if you look at how the wing joins, I've got the wing here to show you. Can I get this under the camera without hitting everything out of the way? The wing actually butts up to this part here on the fuselage, as you can see. So not only have you got this butt joint to deal with, and the wing actually comes off. I don't know why they couldn't recess it. But also there's no detail on that surface there. So basically you've got your rivet detail on your wing, and you've got your rivet detail on the side of the fuselage, but there's nothing in there. It's just like a blank piece of plastic. So yeah, that's going to need some work, I think, because I think that will stick out like a sore thumb, because the joint, I think, is going to be a difficult thing to do. Right, so let's just take a look at the nose section now. So again, we've got recessed riveting and recessed panel lines, all very, very sharp, very crisp, very, very nice, just what you'd expect from a brand new tool, really. Although, is this a brand new tool? It's been around for about 5 years, I think, this model, in development. So yeah, we've got all the detail there. You can see, once again, like with the main fuselage, we don't lose anything as we go around the sides. And what I'm talking about for our newer people there, sometimes you'll see in kits you'll get beautiful rivet detail here, but as you come around the side you lose it, because obviously you can't mould, you know, something that way into the tool and then inject it that way. It would actually pin it in, but here they've obviously used slide molds, and very nice it is too. Again, we've got all the interior detail in here, so and a couple of ejector pin marks, which will be a bit difficult to remove, but literally, I mean, there are a couple, and that's it. There's nothing much at all. Recesses for the windows there. And again, I think that window looks very, very close to the wing root, but I could be wrong, I could be right. But anyway, yeah, so there we go. So that's that. Now let's look at the wing itself. Clever piece of moulding this. This is actually one piece of plastic, the upper and lower section, and obviously what they've done is moulded it like with a glove in here that pulls out. But as a result, the wing is actually very thin. I don't know if you can see that. I can easily flex this with my finger. It is extremely thin on this end here. You can see that, you know, I could just push it down with one finger. So I don't know if that's going to twist in use or whatever. Maybe it's got a stiffer that goes in there or something. I don't know. Maybe when the end's on, it'll help. But yeah, it's very, very, very thin, very, very soft, very, very flexible. But again, we've got all that lovely recessed rivet detail, and yeah, it's a shame that Hobby Boss B24 didn't have this much riveting detail, but you know, we can't have it all. This was more than twice the price of that one. So I'm not sure if all this is correct or not, but we've got access panels everywhere. There's a large panel there, probably for a fuel tank, I'm guessing. And yeah, all very crisp, all very clean, all very lovely. And then we've got the main gear bay there, and we've got the outer engine pod there, and then we've got flat detail going in underneath. Very nice, very crisp, but that concerns me, how soft that is, how thin that is. So that is extremely thin. Okay, so I'm not going to do the sprues in any particular order. I'm just going to do them as they come out of the box. So here we've got sprue AA, funnily enough, and these are you can see how big they are. There's my hand. These are the propeller blades. You actually get 4 of these sprues, because you've obviously got 3 blades per prop, and these are the more pointy type prop blades. But we also get these, so this is BB, and these are the more paddle-like blades, so you can see the difference in them. So you've got the 2 different types of prop blade there, so whichever one you decide to use to suit the variant you're going to build. So it's nice to have the option there to use both. This sprue here, we also get 4 of these. This is obviously the engine sprue. Why? Because it is. And we can see here straight away that we've got rocker covers here with no Rolls-Royce writing on them. We've got the front cover here, we've got the supercharger there, air intake on the back, more greeblies. I think this is the throttle mechanism parts here, the small parts there. I can't remember what that part is there, obviously the sump, and then we've got the main engine block halves. I think this engine is quite simple in comparison to the Tamiya ones. It could do with a bit of livening up really. And then we've got the oil coolers here, which are, as I mentioned before, are incorrect. If you look back at my review of the book, you'll see an image. They should be rectangular, not this shape. So I just hope the air intakes on the engines are correct for, you know, a wartime Lanc. Apparently this is Mark 10 type radiator. Yeah, we've got oil filters and starters. I don't know what's there. And then we've got the actual exhaust there, which are slide molded. So there's some, you can see on here, they've got some drilling on the end, but obviously need more. I don't know why they didn't go a bit deeper on them, actually, to be quite honest with you. I think they probably could have done. Try and get the camera to focus on it. We can see there's some drilling there, but nothing much at all. As I say, we get 4 of those. Then moving on to this one here. This is obviously undercarriage doors, aileron parts, flaps. These are parts of the engine. And this is sprue I. And you don't get 2 of these, you get 2 very, very similar. Obviously one's left, one's right, or port and starboard, should I say. There's no point in showing you both, but again we got the lovely detail on the flaps there, which is really nice. Some internal flap detail. These are the ends of the wings. Again, they're slide molded in one piece, so you don't have to worry about any joins around your wing. Again, lovely surface detail on there, very, very crisp. Not sure how that seam there will be. We'll have to have a look at that later. We've got the internal detail here on the flaps. I think that'll need a treatment with Edard, could probably sort them out. And then we've got this here, which is also this is the box, I think, that goes into the wing. Now that looks like ejector pin marks to me, but it may be detail that should be there, I don't know. So make sure you check your references before you start digging out your sanding sticks. We've got some ejector pin marks there on the inside of those doors, and again we've got the wing box for the flaps. I'm looking at that now, I'm wondering if that is actually ejector pin marks, because it's so consistent in the positioning. And yeah, nice, all very nice and clean. And again, this sprue here, this is the intakes and parts of the cowls. This is sprue J. Again, you get 2 of these, but one's port, one's starboard, so they're not exactly the same, but no point in showing you both. And we can see the air intakes here. Looking very nice. Now they actually look, to me, these air intakes look like someone was talking about, there may be 2 sets of air intakes in this kit, we'll have to have a look. Somebody on the large scale plane forums was saying that the air intakes looked incorrect for a Mark 1, but we'll see. So we may get another set of those, but again, all crisply moulded, all very clean. Feels a little bit oily, I must admit, so probably best to give it a wash. That's that part that folds down with the flaps. It goes on the fairing for the back of the landing gear. And then once again we get 2 of these, and these are the engine bearers for the left and right hand side. We've got our port and starboard, should I say. We've got oil tanks here, which is very nice, and we've got all these components here which are part of the engine bearer system, because not only do you get the engine bearer, you get the bit behind the engine which supports the oil tanks as well. Again, if you look at my review on the Sound Publications book, you'll see there's a couple of shots of the engine with all the cowlings removed, and you can see that sitting there behind the engine are the oil tanks and stuff. So yeah, very nice. Seam lines are an absolute minimum, hardly anything there at all. So yeah, very, very nice. And that one's sprue E. So this one here, this is sprue T, and we've got some turret detail. Now I'm assuming there's going to be different variants coming out, so you're probably going to find that, you know, this sprue will cover one of the turrets, probably the, what's this, this is the rear turret, isn't it? I think, looking at that there, I think this may be the rear turret. So yeah, they probably have these sort of sprues that cover the turrets, and then like the different variants will have a different sprue in for that different type of turret. So we've got the machine guns there, which are nice and crisply moulded. I've actually ordered the master gun barrels, but these gun barrels might be absolutely fine. Be interesting to see if they've done the same with this as they did with the B25 and ended up with all different barrel lengths, which was a bit of a shame. And then here we've got this is sprue W, and we've got the full length ammunition rails there for the rear end. This is the box that goes in between the tail planes, and then we've got more boxes here which go between the main wing sections. These are the doors that go to the rear gun unit. This was a cover, I think, for I think it's a flare. I think it's where the flares go out through the bottom of the aircraft. Portaloo there underneath my finger. Some hydraulic parts there, some detail. All very, very nice, all crisply moulded again, no flash. And yeah, beautiful. This is obviously all internal detail. And we can see on there we've got the detail of the actual shells in there, which is all nice. And moulded in plastic rather than vinyl like they've done on with Hobby Boss B24. Right, so this is sprue D, and this is, as you can see, all the rear control surfaces, and yeah, again, all very, very nicely riveted. We've got some sink marks in there, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. I think if I make light catch them, you might see them. I don't think that's going to matter too much under a matte coat of paint. And then we've got these will be the elevators here, and then we've got the rudders and the vertical stabilizers there. So yeah, they got this this pattern inside to add some stiffness, but it's caused them to have some you can see it there in the light, got some sinkage in there, but as I say, not really an issue. And this is obviously the leading edge of the rudder, and you've got the faired piece on the bottom there, so that's pretty well thought out. Not sure how thin the trailing edge will be, or how thin the trailing edge would have been in real life, but yeah, these are certainly quite thin here, quite nice. Then this one here, this is sprue M, and this is all Bombay components now. So we've got the actual bomb floor here, I'll turn it over for you in a minute. Bombay bulkheads, not quite sure what that is. Then we've got the Bombay doors here. This is going to be an infill panel for the rear, I'm guessing. And then we've got these panels here. They've got wiring and stuff on the reverse side of them. That's cabling and everything for the Bombays. We've got some little fairings here, tail wheel gear, tail wheel itself there. So yeah, that's got its own sprue, that one. That's actually sprue N. So yeah, and we can see we've got some interior detail. Well, that's interesting. We've got interior detail on the Bombay doors, and it's raised riveting. And in amongst the raised riveting, we've got loads of ejector pin marks. I'm assuming probably something goes over that. There seems to be nothing there that does go over it, so yeah. We'll have to see when we build it. That's a real shame, that. Raised rivet detail and ejector pin marks. And there's two there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 per door. Not great. And then we've got loads of ejector pin marks, if they are ejector pin marks, in the Bombay floor. So there you can see there. Of course, they're not going to be very easy to get out, unless they'll be hidden, I don't know. And then we've got the detail here on the inside of the Bombay, with all the cabling and everything. And again, absolutely plastered in ejector pins. Oh, dear. Such a shame. They go to all the trouble of putting all these on here and then put ejector pin marks in here. Of course, if they are ejector pin marks, maybe they're supposed to be there, I don't know. But can't chastise them without knowing, without doing my research. So yeah, there's the Bombay door cylinders there that keep them open. Then moving on here, we get two of these. Obviously they're handed. And this is plastic moulded flat spotted tyres, which is a nice touch. And we've got the spinners here and the back plates for the spinners. These are the exhausts and the exhaust shrouds. Main gear base stiffeners in here. These are going to be antenna, I think. Then we've got some, these are probably pivots for the ailerons. Flaps maybe. Main gear roof, and we've got main gear bulkhead there, more bulkheads here, some fairings, yeah, some tiny little parts there, I don't know what they are, part number 28. And then we've got interior detail there on the actual, we've got spar detail on the main gear. That, I guess, to make that more realistic, that should be hollowed out, I assume, or maybe it's got a panel there, I don't know. This obviously goes inside the wing, and then this enables you to remove the wings. We've got some intakes there, which have got a witness of hollowing out, but nothing much. Got some more intakes there, some hooks. Yeah. Wheel detail is fairly simple, but I'm not sure how complex it should be. Tyres have got nothing on them whatsoever. I'm assuming they would have had something written on them. Some smaller sprues again. Now this is the sprue I was talking about. This is what gives you the ability to add the exhausts without actually building the engine. So this is obviously the spinner back plate you use without building the engine, and these are the exhausts you use without building the engine, and these are the panels that go inside the cowlings. So you don't have to add the engines if you don't want to, or at least you don't have to add all 4 of them. And then this is the upper turret fairing, with a blanking plate for the bottom, I'm guessing. So that's all nice and clean. Then we've got some little fiddly greebly parts, handles, levers. Looks like some counterbalance weights there. There's more counterbalance weights. Actuators there. All very crisp and clean. Bonus hair there. Yeah, so all nice and sharp, more flash free as you'd expect. We've got 1/2 of the cookie. You get 2 of these sprues, obviously. And sorry, the engine sprue there with the exhaust that I showed you. This one here, you get 4 of those. There's the cookie. You have to drill out those holes and add these pins to make it so that you've got pins in 1/2. Clever design that, so it means they only have to make 1 mould tool to make the cookie. So yeah. A little bit of raised detail on the outside of that. And then here we've got our bombs. I think these are £500 bombs, or they may be 250s, I'm not sure. It just says RAF bomb on there. Please tell me in the comments if you know what they are. Yeah, nice detail on them. Not sure if it's correct, but there's nice detail on there. And got the rings that go around the back end. I'm sure Edard will come out with something to make these out of PE to thin them down. And you actually get 5 of these sprues, and yeah, so you can actually make 20 bombs, even though the instructions only call out for 18. So right, now we've got another big sprue. This is P and O. So yeah, here we've got the this is the Bombay floor, but it's the roof of the Bombay and the floor of the interior behind the cockpit area, I'm guessing. And then we've got some radio gear here, pilot seat by the look of it. And then we've got some little greeblies for the interior. This is probably all interior parts. Something I'm looking out for on these little sprues is the radar, to see if you can actually use that teardrop underneath the belly. If you see it, please tell me. Yeah, I'll just quickly look for the instrument panel there. I've actually ordered the air scale instrument panel for this, so I'll be reviewing that as soon as it arrives. And you can see, and there's also something I hadn't noticed, but one of my subscribers pointed out that this kit has no decals for the instruments. And if you actually look there, the instrument panel is flat, so you're going to have to buy some aftermarket decals for the instruments on this, I'm afraid. Then turning over, we've got the Bombay floor, or the Bombay roof should I say. Again, absolutely plastered and ejector pin marks. If they are ejector pin marks, and they look like they are. Yeah. This is the back of the nose turret here by the look of it. And then we've got another Bombay bulkhead. And then look around this radio gear and everything on here. So yeah, we've got the yoke, seat detail there. Yeah, so it's all pretty nice. Some more detail there, or is that the seat? I'm not sure. Some of it's the seat, some of it isn't. Got some more machine guns there with barrels. Those barrels look shorter to me than the last lot we looked at. Oh, that's I thought that was correct radiators. Then it's not. That's part of the turret. So this is, I'm guessing this is nose turret. So this is also Q. So with these separate Q sprues, I could imagine they're going to be bringing out the Dam Buster, the Tall Boy, the Grand Slam. Yeah, because they've got these like separate Bombay sprues, and there's a separate sprue for the front turret there by the look of it. So I think they're going to be bringing out more variants. Like we said on the box, it says series. Here's the cockpit floor. This is where it's all simplified, and it should have detail there, which is lacking. There's the dome that goes over the or the teardrop that goes over the top of the turret. So yeah, have a good look at that detail there. It's all very crisp. Like I say, not sure how corrected it is, but it's all there. So yeah, that's a big disappointment for you guys. You're gonna have to buy an aftermarket cockpit, or just get some aftermarket decals or something. Airscale would be your first stop for that. They do some lovely aftermarket stuff. And we've got the undercarriage legs here, sprue R. I guess this will be common with all the kits. So they're quite chunky. You see, I've just got the four halves of them there, and then all the little associated supports and bracketry. A little bit of a seam line on there. If you can pick that up in the light. Nothing too much that Sanistic won't clean up, but lovely crisp detail on there. Very nice, very sharp. Flash free. Ejector pin mark free. No. Yeah, it kind of looks ejector pin mark free. Looks like the ejector pins are on the sprues. So yeah, shame the same can't be said for the Bombardier doors. And then we've got some more turret parts here. I'm assuming this is, I'm not sure which turret this is, so I won't even guess. But we've got the there's the handles there, or the operating pieces, if you like, some detail there for in there. We've got the main frame that supports the guns themselves. This must be the tail gun turret actually, or is it an alternate tail gun? Because I thought we already saw a tail gun turret. Again, please tell me when we look through the when you actually come to build this, we'll see what's actually in the instructions and what isn't. But it could have an alternate tail gun turret, I'm guessing there. And then finally, we've got this sprue here, which is sprue X, and this is the detail behind the main wing spar. This is all interior detail here around the cockpit. So yeah, it's all very crisp and clean. Got radio gear here. Again, blank dials here. No decals to go in them. Again, blank dials there. More blank dials there. Fire extinguisher by the look of it, or an oxygen bottle. Little parts there, I'm not sure what they are. But yeah, detail on there is very nice. Shame you never see it. But yeah, lovely. All very crisp. We've got some lovely slide mold detail on the on the radio gear there. So that is that, my friends. You've seen the photo etch, the decals on the clear parts in my part 1 review. Okay guys, what do you think of that then? It's quite nice, isn't it? It's quite a nice kit. It's a shame about the ejector pin marks everywhere. I would have thought with, you know, a kit being so long in design and development, it would be nigh on perfect. And it does look to me to be a little, I don't know, perhaps a little simplified in areas. Certainly I know there's for sure there's parts of the cockpit detail missing that would have been fairly easy to put on, I think. But yeah, overall, I think it's overpriced. When you compare it to the B24 Liberator from Hobby Boss at like 150 retail pounds sterling, and available for 135, you know, this thing at 399 retail, available for 350, you know, I think it's a little overpriced. But then I guess HK have got to get their money back. They've been years and years and years in developing this. Literally, I think it's 5 years since it was originally announced that it was going to, you know, close to release. So, you know, it's probably 9 years in total that it's been being worked on, which is coincidentally the same as the Wingnut Wings one. So, yeah, overall, you know, it's a 32nd scale Lancaster in injection moulding. It's the only one out there. The surface detail is very, very crisp. It hasn't got any canning, but you know, the more you look at photographs and you listen to people's arguments for and against the canning, does it need it? I don't know. It doesn't have raised rivet detail, nor does anything else. You know, the Tamiya Spitfire is a beautiful, beautiful kit. It doesn't have raised rivet detail. Nobody moans about that. So, yeah, overall, I think it's overpriced. But then I am not a Hong Kong Models fan. I must be honest. I think everyone... The price is too high. I think it, you know, should be £250 all day long. You know, if you're judging it against the Hobby Boss Liberator. The Liberator's got its issues. It's got parts missing. It's a bit lacking in detail in areas. But then so is this. This has no instrument decals at all. So you're going to have to go aftermarket for that. You don't even have the moulded on faces to paint. So you're going to have to do something. So yeah, overall 8 out of 10, I guess. But you know, I think probably the fact that Wingnut Wings have announced one is sort of dampened everybody's enthusiasm for this kit. So anyway, happy Christmas everyone. I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and I hope you have this, you know, everything you wish for. And don't forget, I'll be doing the Amusing Hobby Jagdpanzer build, E100. I've already done the tracks. Reason for that is I couldn't see the point in wasting time Christmas Day on a video build with you guys watching me cut bits of track off. You know, there's 204 links in total, and there's 2 sprue nibs, or at least there's 4 nibs on some parts. So yeah, I've cleaned all that up. I put them all together. They're all just clipped together. So that's already done. So thanks for watching. If you like this, please subscribe, please hit the notifications bell, and then you'll see upcoming videos get notified to you. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.